Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to Punk Rock Radar. And on today's episode, we are talking about possibly the greatest year in pop punk history, 2001. Only records released in 2001. Only pop punk records. A perfect video for the summer coming up here. Only good things happened in 2001, if I remember correctly. But how was you guys putting together this tier list? How was listening back to all of these? I would say this is like all of these bands had like radio play, every single
Yeah.
one of them off of this, right? I'm pretty sure. Um, Maybe not Rufio. I think Above Me was, but I'm not sure. But John, you were hyped to do this one. You love all of these bands. How was putting this tier list together, dude?
This was a like you got to remember I was 15 and 16 in 2001. I was the literal
Yeah.
target demographic for all this stuff. So I owned every single one of these CDs and I played the shit out of every single one. So this was extremely difficult because it's putting me back in that time period with the, people I was hanging out with, stuff we were doing as teenagers. So I had a blast. This was like my favorite tier list we've done in a while.
Oh yeah, Dylan, how was it putting this together? This morning.
5 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's still not. It's still. I still don't have things like put in tiers or anything. But I have an idea. I don't know. I'm not that passionate about this early 2000s pop punk thing as you guys are, but
I'm glad
I'm
you're
okay
here.
with it. I'm tolerant of it.
That's all we asked for. Lewis couldn't even tolerate it.
No.
So, I would say I listened back. Obviously, I love a lot of these records. This was also like just I remember just playing a lot of these songs, learning them on guitar. Back in the day, I remember just like Fat Lip, I would play over and over again. There was like an entire summer. I think I listened to Fat Lip every single day. So I love all these bands. Listening back, I felt I couldn't get into a lot of them, but I was also working a lot of overtime and absolutely miserable listening to all of these records. So it was actually very difficult to like place like, am I just in a really bad mood right now, or is this not that great of an album? But I kept going. I think I've got a pretty solid list down. So I'm ready whenever you guys are to do the first record here from the year 2001, Blink 182's Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. John, start us off here, man. So.
Yeah. I've told this story a few times, but I remember the day this came out, and it used to be on Tuesdays, that my girlfriend at the time, her parents took us to the mall, and I think I got the green one and she got the red one with the different bonus tracks. And I just remember like sitting on her floor like all summer with these songs, just listening over and over and over again. I loved it. Like at the time, Blink was like one of my favorite bands. And it's a record. So the way I'm doing this, how much do I want to listen to it right here, right now? I'm trying to take myself out. I'm trying to get rid of nostalgia. And I put this on and I'm not skipping any songs. Like I still think this hits just as hard as it did back when I first heard it as a teenager. So I'm going to put this in my S tier with the Blink album.
All right. Dylan, what are you doing with Blink 182?
I'm also gonna put it in the S tier. I was 6 years old at the time, so I don't have any nostalgia for any of these albums, and no anecdotes to share. But it's definitely for sure. Just looking at the lineup, I was like, all right, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, S tier. Don't have to think about it really.
Yeah.
Roller Coaster. I fucking hate First Date. Terrible song. And the Rock Show. Rock Show is also a terrible song. But I don't know. There's Anthem Part 2, Roller Coaster, Reckless Abandon.
Yeah, Reckless
Every
Abandon.
time I look for you, there's like 90% of the album's great.
Yeah, I mean this is going straight into my S tier as well. It kind of has to be. I mean, this is like one of the best Blink 182 records. It's got the best Blink 182 song, which is Anthem Part 2. Online songs, great.
Yes.
Always get stuck in my head. Josie, you're my voice of most frustration, is so good. First, it's funny that First Date and Rock Show, I think we talked about this before, they were like the last singles that they came out with. Like they came out like towards the end of the album. Like they had the album basically done in the studio, I believe, was just like, where's the summer pop punk song? We need one of these. And Rock Show and First Date were almost just kind of written sarcastically and sardonically, and like so, which makes a lot of sense because they're like the corniest, most cliche songs, but if they're not like catchy as hell, like they are super catchy. I still love those songs, as corny and dumb as they are. Roller Coaster, of course, Reckless Abandon. I mean, this is it's a great record. It's got my favorite CIA asset, Tom DeLonge, and my favorite Kardashian, Travis Barker, on here as well. So it's got to be S tier.
There you go.
Tom DeLonge did 9/11.
So
let's go, don't wait. This night's almost over. Honest, let's make this night last forever.
Go ahead. We'll have Dylan go here with Mest. I know Dylan's a huge Mest fan.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna go ahead and phone a friend. We got Purplish Rain on the line here, calling in to give his not a big Mest fan, but I think like it's probably like definitive. This is their best album, right? Is that pretty much popular consensus?
Yeah, I would say that's pretty popular consensus. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, obviously Cadillac. I think we talked about that song ad nauseum. There's not a whole lot of other standout songs on here. I mean, Opinion is a good opening track and stuff. It's a solid album. I mean, I've always thought this was similar to the Good Charlotte albums, but like more punk. Anyway, Mest is gonna go in the A tier.
It's a good spot for Mest. I'm like, I'll go next year. I was like pretty back and forth on what to do with Mest, where I do like this album. I just don't know how strong, like some of the songs just aren't that strong, like maybe like Misunderstood, and like some of the B-side stuff is like I just don't remember it. Obviously Drawing Board's like a classic, like there's a lot of classic songs on here. Yesterday, Cadillac is just like such a good like early 2000s single, like it's so fun. I never get tired of hearing that dumb song. And I'm between A and B. Like, I think it's super solid. I just don't fully know what to do with it. I think I'm going to commit it to the B tier since Dylan put it in the A tier, but it's so close to being A. Like, Mest is like, to me, it's like weird. It's like, they're like a B, C tier band that I listen to as much as I do A and S tier bands. I feel like I just always like randomly get in a Mest mood. So, also Tony Lovato, a cousin of Demi Lovato. Just random facts. It's pretty wild.
Is that true?
It is true. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Lead singer Mest is cousins of Demi Lovato. So
I hear he's also got some pretty good knife skills.
yeah, he is an expert of the blade, a master of the blade as well. So it's all pretty impressive stuff. But John, what are you doing with Destination Unknown?
Yeah, again, I right after 9/11, Good Charlotte went on what they called the Uniting the States tour, and they took out Mest and the Movie Life. And I remember
Awesome.
that show, and that was like one of the first times I had heard Mest, and I love this record. I think it's like top to bottom. It's a really solid early 2000s pop punk record. You guys said like a lot of the good songs, but the whole A side is good. And then Drawing Board, the re-recording from the previous record, is they crush it on here. So I'm gonna put Mest in my A tier, and I will probably have an anecdote for every one of these albums, just so you guys know. So buckle up. There's gonna be a lot of nostalgia here.
They've got like two dub tracks on here, which is pretty funny. Reason, they got the hidden track, which is really catchy as well.
Top two moments that galvanized the American spirit after 9/11. George W. first pitch at the Yankees game.
and Good Charlotte united the states.
Mest tour.
The states have never been more united than when Good Charlotte went on
my
tour.
God.
So, still Patriots, those guys. That's what a weird time it was. But what's the next album here we've got, which is Yellowcard, One for the Kids. And I guess I'll go first here. This was one that also kind of went all around for me, but I kind of ended on that this is a really good album, and I actually like it a lot. So I think Starstruck is a super good song. I even like the acoustic songs in here. Also, I always thought this was more of like just kind of more just upbeat, normal kind of summer pop punk album. But I feel like Yellowcard's just always kind of been a sad fucking band.
Yeah.
Like this album is not like very happy or upbeat at all. I don't think any of their albums are. Even that like weird skate punk one that came out before this was pretty dour. But Sure Shot, Big Apple Heartbreak, October Nights. If I was to start a pop punk band and somebody brought a violin to the recording session, I would be very hesitant, but they do make it work. I never really think about it. I think this is going in my A tier. I think I actually like this album quite a bit. I think it's pretty strong. Went back and forth a lot on it, but I've ended up on A tier here. John, what do you do with Yellowcard?
Yeah, I don't know what to do with this one. Like this, I'll be honest. There's one or two on here that I listened to not as much. I actually saw them tour this record with Rufio. Brought them on tour when Rufio was touring their album, which is gonna be next. And I picked this up, and for me, like I always thought Sure Shot was the standout. I think it was on a couple like Warped Tour comps, not Warped Tour official, but comps you would have got at Warped Tour back in the day. It's a good song. But like of these, it's probably in the bottom two that I've spent the most time with. And I think it's pretty good. I don't really know what I'm gonna do with this one. I hate to I think I'm gonna go with D, and I may have to move it
Hi,
up
dude.
just because it doesn't. So many of these have that one banger that was like on the radio, it was everywhere. I think this one is,
definitely doesn't have it.
yeah, it doesn't have that
yeah.
big song, and I think every
Yeah.
other one does. So
Yeah.
for that reason, it's gonna go in D.
But don't worry, the next album
Yeah.
they get like 5 singles off of
Yeah.
that one. So,
Yeah.
but Dylan, what are you doing with Yellowcard one for the kids?
John gave it a D for Duval, and I'm gonna give it a B for Broward County, even though they're from Jacksonville. I don't know. I'm mostly indifferent to the album, so we'll put it right down the middle at B. Not a big Yellowcard appreciator. This is on Lobster Records, right?
Yep.
What a great
Better Lobster Records band, Whippersnapper. Check out Whippersnapper, America's favorite pastime.
We should do. We'll have to get that together. They're like a skate punk tier list too, like the early stuff. But next up we got Rufio, Perhaps I Suppose, and we'll go to John. What are you doing with Rufio?
I feel like of all the albums on here, this is the one I should like the most. It's definitely it's without a doubt the most technical, without a doubt the most skate punky. But I don't know. Like I was listening back, and of all the albums, I found myself skipping around a lot on here. I do think there's some standouts, but around like track 5 or 6, I'm definitely moving around. Like it wasn't holding my attention, and it could be that I'm not as familiar with the back half. But I ended up with a C on the Rufio album. And I do want to say, if you're a fan of this, Scott Sellers' solo project, his new album comes out this coming Friday. Probably already out with how long it takes me to edit these videos. And the singles he's released so far are very good. So if you are an appreciator of this album, make sure and go check that out on Double Helix Records. But yeah, I'm going to go with a C on Perhaps I Suppose.
Dylan, what are you doing with Rufio?
I think I'm gonna put it in the same spot as Mr. John. Two things working against this album: squeaky vocals,
Yes.
and a snare drum can really make or break an album. I'm sure a lot of people will like fucking burn me at the stake for this, but the snare is very grating on this album. So yeah, I don't know. You get fatigued like halfway through it. It's like, all right, I like it. I want to like it, but fuck, man, like those two things kind of killed it for me.
It's kind of crazy because I thought I was the only one who was not going to be feeling this. I assumed Dylan was going to put this kind of
Yes,
high,
me too.
and same with John, because it's very much like a more skate punk adjacent pop punk record. And Rufio also has like so many like hardcore fans as well. Like they've got a lot of like Punisher fans, very similar, like Strung Out, a lot of, like pop punk Strung Out almost in a lot of ways. And I've just never been able to get into this Rufio record, even back in the day. And I still can't. I just like the songs don't stick with me. There's definitely moments where like the bass guitar is popping off and there's some really cool fast guitar work. But I actually like Scott Seller's solo stuff more than I
Yes.
like Rufio. I like that Mercy Street record and the cover album he did where he covered what Lagwagon song did he cover? It was really good. Was it Alienate?
Know
I
It All,
can't
I think.
remember.
Was
Know It All.
right?
I can't remember.
There's the Longest Line
Cover
cover on there. It's badass.
I
Yeah.
actually don't think it was either one of those songs we mentioned, but
Island of Shame. It's Island of Shame. It's Island of
yes.
Shame. Yeah.
Yes.
It just came
And,
to me. I hear him singing it.
yeah. It's really good. I actually like Scott. So like if you do like Rufio, I would definitely suggest the Mercy Street record. I didn't know he had a new one coming out. It might be in my top 10 of the year because I love that Mercy Street record and a lot of his solo stuff. But I've never been able to get into Rufio. They're going in my C tier. I think it's comparable. I think it's a good record overall, but just not one I'm going to revisit too often. So
Damn. Unexpected.
I know.
Right?
We're gonna get there's gonna be like Rufio fans I feel like upset about the C tier ranking of this one. There's people love this record, so but let's go ahead and move on to Sum 41. And Dylan, what are we doing with Sum 41? Dylan, who famously can name every Sum 41 song, as we all know.
Yeah. I must have Alzheimer's. I forget every song name by every band. Yeah, this was the other one that I looked at it and put it on the board in the S tier. Right off the rip. More straightforward pop punk than what's to come. Does This Look Infected and all that stuff. But Elliot already called out Fat Lip. He also got In Too Deep. And then some more like cult classic stuff like Summer. So yeah, this was a very easy decision. S tier for the Canadians.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, I felt like going back and listening to all these, there was actually a few records I enjoyed slightly more than All Killer No Filler, but I think it's only because I've listened to All Killer so much, and some of these I haven't listened to a while, and they felt more fresh, because All Killer No Filler, has the strengths of its are like Fat Lip, Nothing on My Back, In Too Deep is a great single, great music video. Summer is like a classic as well. I think that, but there's like a few songs that I think are kind of stale sounding and boring. Like Motivation, I think is a terrible single. I think it's a boring song. Handle This, I don't think is very good. But overall, I think this is still going in my S tier. Or just the strength of the songs that are absolute rippers. So, like Nothing on My Back, Fat Lip, and the ones I mentioned. Crazy Amanda Bunkface, and stuff like that.
Don't listen to Motivation's a good song.
Yeah, I like Motivation too.
I can't. I hate the rhyming everything with shun at the end. Motivation, just aggravation. I'm like, I'm over it.
Don't read a Dr. Seuss.
So, also, Derek Lively just dated up every it girl in the early 2000s. I did not realize this. He dated Paris Hilton and Avril Lavigne. I did not know about the Paris Hilton thing until recently. So, which is pretty wild.
Legend.
TMZ.
Legend. I know. Jealous. Absolute legend, bro. A Stifler classic right there. All right. Hold on. John, what are you doing with All Killer No Filler?
Yeah, it's an S. I mean, just looking at the rest of the records, it's top 2 and it's not even close. So, all the songs are good. I mean, yeah, and I've got a shit ton of nostalgia for it. You guys talked about it a ton, but yeah, it's S tier. It's one of the top 2 without a doubt.
All right. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Phoenix TX. What is it called? Lchuza?
Lchuza,
How
yeah.
do you say it? Okay. I guess I'll go first on Phoenix TX here. And I think this is a super solid pop punk record. I think Phoebe Cates is a great song. I think it's kind of interesting. There's 2 bands that do this, Phoenix TX and Sugarcult later on, where I feel like some of these songs really could be thrown on like hard rock radio, and I wouldn't bat an eye. Like it would just like Papa Roach would come on, and then like a Sugarcult Phoenix TX song off one of these records would come on. I wouldn't even think about it. I'd just be like, okay, this is some hard rock band. Like what was it? Like I think maybe Pasture of Muppets or Tearjerker, one of these. Yeah.
Not Tearjerker.
Yes. Not Tearjerker. And but I think it's a fun record. I think it's super solid. I think it's super catchy. I enjoyed it like quite a bit. I've never listened to this one too much. I've always listened to the 1999 one way more than this. But I think this might be like just as good or maybe even better. So I'll put it in the B tier. I think it's solid. John.
Yeah, this is close to my S. I think this is an awesome album. It's got the best album cover on the list too. Yeah, I love the heavier songs, like Something Bad's Gonna Happen, Pasture of Muppets. The last song is really good. KDW is awesome. Phoebe Cates is good, except I said it before that there's so many choruses at the end. It's like insane. It goes on like 45 seconds too long. We got like the kind of standard pop punk ones, Tearjerker, Song for Everyone. Threesome was in some MTV movie. Maybe Jailbait. I forget which one. But yeah, I love this record. So I'm gonna go in the A tier. And of course I saw them tour this record. I think with Blink, I saw them with Blink in 2000, and then I saw them headline for this record too. And they're a badass live. You can tell this album was written to be played live with how heavy some of these songs are. And they just translated super well. So great live band. They're back now, but with a different singer. So I don't know how that's gonna shake out. But if you like this, go ahead.
Yeah.
They put
I
out
listened to
another
the one
EP.
single. It wasn't bad, but
Not great.
it's not great.
Yeah.
Also, I'm glad Threesome made the cut of the Jailbait soundtrack. Definitely couldn't have that without that. So Dylan, what are you doing with Lchuza? I don't know how to say it.
I'm on a completely different wavelength from you guys. I think this album fucking sucks.
That's actually surprising as well.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna backtrack. I'm gonna bump up Rufio to B, and Phoenix, Texas goes in a C tier. Because there's two other albums that suck worse than this.
Damn.
All right. And I guess we're moving on to the Ataris End is Forever. And we'll have John start us off with the Ataris. Is that how you say their name?
Yeah.
Is it not the Ataris?
No, it's the Nintendo 64.
The Nintendos.
The Atari Jaguars.
I feel like everyone still screws up their name. So
yeah, this
I've never.
Now, I when I was a kid, not a kid, when this came out, I was calling them the Ataris, which was not, I don't know why, considering we had an Atari in the house. I don't know why I couldn't put.
That's what I called them too.
I couldn't put it together. Yeah.
Yeah, I did as well.
So it's so obvious and on the nose, but you still get it wrong. But yeah, what this it would have been in my A tier. Like I feel like it's on par with those two records. Like Giving Up on Love, I Owe You One Galaxy was such like a mixed CD song back in high school. Everybody had that on there. Fast Times is a classic. Song 13, a little bit a heavier one, but it's really good. It's a solid album from front to back, and probably my number 2 Ataris after So Long Astoria. But just based on how strong this list is, I gotta slide it in B.
Yell it. The Ataris.
I've never heard anyone say that before. I feel like you guys are gaslighting me.
I literally just like I saw the name and assumed it was the Ataris. Like I never heard anyone say it. Yeah.
I did not assume that. I'm more of a Blue Skies appreciator. I actually thought this album was older than Blue Skies for a while. I don't know why. Anyway, I mean the Konami Code song is really good, and Bad Case, A Broken Heart, I Owe You One Galaxy. I'm gonna put it in A tier. A tier for the Ataris.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna do the same. A tier for the Ataris. So, and they have the song Teenage Riot where they say that. Like 3 years go by and everyone still screws up our names. So people were calling them something. It has to be the Ataris. That's what they were at.
I
Me and
mean,
John were screwing up their names.
phonetically, that's probably how you would say it if Atari
I
didn't
feel like that is.
exist.
I feel like they're saying it wrong. Actually, I feel like they screw up their own name. So also it might be copyright infringement. I mean, is there a band called the Nintendos? I don't think there is. So they're just lucky
Kojima's.
Atari's out of business, basically. Well, I guess they still operate. Um, but yeah, I mean, I love this record. It's so good. Summer Wind was always our song. It has such a good riff in the beginning of it. Teenage Riot is like such a weird song on here too. It like feels like it really stands out from
Yeah.
everything else. It almost feels like it's like an earlier kind of like Fat Wreck song off of like maybe like a No Use album or something. I don't know.
I don't know about
It's
that one.
probably not No Use is not a good example. I'm trying to think of the band. I don't know. It just doesn't sound like it belongs in the album, but it's a really fun song. The Konami Code song, of course, Fast Times at Dropout High. Also, I feel like wherever Chris Rowe's hometown is, I feel like almost everything that you can possibly write your name on has him and another girl's name on it. He is constantly writing his name on it. They're writing their name in the sand. He's carving the name on a tree. They're putting it on the concrete. He's probably putting it on the dust of an old Camaro that's in an abandoned garage somewhere.
Serial vandalist Chris Rowe.
Yeah. Serial vandalist. You know, he's got Chris and Veronica, Chris and Sarah, Chris and Betsy, whoever. It's all over the place. So be looking out for that. He's writing his name everywhere. So with a little heart in the initials. So, but it's a great record. I love it. The lyrics are super fun. They're really good. So. And the next one here is going to be Sugarcult Start Static Dylan. Big Sugarcult fan.
D tier for Sugarcult. Boring ass album.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I don't beat around the bush, man.
I'll go. Oh, it's kind of tough. I feel
Yeah.
like these final three records are the ones that when I was listening back to this, I was like, man, I thought I liked these ones. They're just a little bland overall, I feel like. And Sugarcult is one of them, but I think Sugarcult has the better standouts that I still enjoy, like Stuck in America, Bouncing Off the Walls, Daddy's Little Defect, I think are all very strong songs. So I'm going to put Sugarcult in the C tier. But like, once again, Sugarcult, like, Hate Every Beautiful Day, I feel like could just come on after like a 3 Days Grace song and I wouldn't bat an eye. It's like kind of crazy. Some of these songs are just so much like post-grunge influenced, but I think it's a fun record. John, what are you doing with Start Static?
I am so with you. Like, the singles are like very pop punky, and I think, again, I could be getting my facts wrong. I feel like these were on maybe Van Wilder, some weird 90s or late early 2000s National Lampoon's movies. But yes, Stuck in America, Bouncing Off the Walls, You're the One is okay, but I mean, some of these songs just don't hit. Ugh.
Yeah, a lot of them are very bland.
Yeah.
Boring. Like, How Does It Feel, and like Lost in You, and like Pretty Girl's okay. It's at least catchy, but it's not that great.
It's like, if you take off Stuck in America and Bouncing Off the Walls, like, it's definitely D. But I still kind of dig those songs. I'm gonna get crucified for my D tier, but I'm gonna slot this in C. I still like those two tracks more than I like anything on the D tier album. So whatever, we're
That's what I
rolling
was
with it.
thinking too. That's what I was thinking too, dude. So,
Yeah.
Stuck in America. Stuck in America.
all right, we've got American High Five.
High five.
We'll have John go first here. I think he likes this band.
I do like this band. I do like this album. It does suffer from some of that sugar cultitis though. Like it's definitely
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
it's I mean Flavor of the Week is probably a top 5 song across this whole list. I listen to that song all the time. I still play it on guitar all the time. Bigger Mood is a good one. Surround is pretty good. But then you get into the same thing. You get into that post grunge kind of slower songs. And I feel like the next record is more complete. And I even like, I don't know if it's their latest one. I'm admittedly not following the band that much, but I think it's called Blood and Lemonade. There's a song called Golden State on there that's really good. But I think based off of how much I like Flavor of the Week and Bigger Mood, I'm going to put this in B, but I don't feel great about it. I just think Flavor of the Week is just such a song for 2001 and such like a,
Definitely.
it still
Yeah.
hits. It still hits. It still sounds so good.
It's very good.
Yeah.
It's easily the best song in the record. It's definitely one
Yeah.
of the most catchy songs on here. Her boyfriend, he don't know. It's so like I'm singing it in
It's
the car every
awesome.
time.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's great. He's too stoned. It's so fun. So, but the album, like you said, it's like Sugarcult-itis. It's like a
Yeah.
lot of slow, just grungy songs, and like I just like if every song was a more like a fun pop punk song like Flavor of the Week, it would be great. But honestly, I found this one kind of bland for the most part. Like throw Flavor of the Week on a playlist of the early 2000s, and I could ditch the rest of this record if I'm being honest. I'm putting it in the D tier. So, Dylan.
Yeah, it's a toss-up, C or D on this one, because I'm equally unenthusiastic about the final album we're going to talk about. I want to say, and you guys have kind of touched on it, but I want to like put it into like very specific point here. The Sugarcult album and this one, I feel like are like primarily rock bands who made pop punk singles, because that's what
Yes,
was going to
sure.
get airplay at the time. I mean, I haven't
That's
listened
fair.
to much other American Hi-Fi, but I feel like that's kind of cheating, honestly. That's an unfair advantage they have. So anyway, boring band sounds like something that would be, you keep talking about movies, like a fake band made for like a Disney sitcom or something with fucking like Amanda Bynes or somebody
It's-
singing for the band.
That's pretty funny
D
because this singer, he writes all the songs for Olivia Rodrigo and Miley Cyrus. He writes their songs. So
Yeah,
that's a
okay.
pretty astute observation there by Dylan.
It could be like it could be a band in the fucking Hannah Montana show or something,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh my
Damn.
gosh. I'm thinking like Zoe 101. They're all getting super excited to go see American Hi-Fi play, and I'm like a kid watching that. I have no clue who this band is. I'm just
The
like,
Jonas
they must
Brothers.
be huge.
Did he write stuff for the Jonas Brothers?
Probably.
I think they were on what is it called? School of Rock. What is it called? Camp Rock. Yeah, they could be on the soundtrack of Camp
Yeah.
Rock.
You get what I'm
So,
saying, though. It
No.
sounds like
You're 100% right.
band.
They're like alternative rock bands that had pop punk singles. I agree. Sugarcult, I feel like did have. I think they continue just to do pop punk singles as well, because Memory was after. That's also just kind of more of a rock song. I'd give it. So I think you're
you
right.
could make as good a case for Lit being a pop punk band in that case. It's their biggest
Sure.
single's a pop punk song.
We've got Saves the Day. I always say this album wrong. Stay what you are.
There you go.
I always want to say what you are, or like stay where you are. Stay what you are. I don't know, we'll have John just go ahead and finish this off for us here.
All right. There's a big trend with these last few where there's that one banger and then the rest of it's okay. Like I think At Your Funeral is a really good song. Admittedly, like when this came out, I had Can't Slow Down, I had Through Being Cool, and I got this, and I was like, what the hell happened to Saves the Day? And then when In Reverie came out, forget it. I mean, then it's off the rails. But I feel like this is it's a listenable album, but it's just really At Your
Great,
Funeral
dude.
and a bunch of flaws. People
It's a
love this.
boring ass
Dude,
album. I don't get it.
this was so critically acclaimed when it came out. Like, you would not believe. Like, people went crazy for this record, and I personally don't understand it either. So it's a D.
Like tapping into, I guess they would later do it in Reverie fully. Some of that like kind of quirky indie feel
Yeah.
to it. So I feel like a lot of people like that. And like lyrically, obviously the guy can write great songs. But yeah, this is boring. But Dylan, what are you doing with Saves the Day?
Can I get a third D tier?
You're
I
putting it
could-
next to Phoenix DX. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I really couldn't decide. Like these last three, I don't give a fuck about any of them, so they could all be in the D tier. But
Yeah.
for some arbitrary reason, Saves the Day is in the C tier. I think Jukebox Breakdown's a pretty okay song actually, and I don't think At Your Funeral is a very inspiring single personally.
No, I
There
mean,
you go.
dude, if we're off of the heels of Through Being Cool, this is like such a downgrade for me. So Through Being Cool is like, if Through Being Cool was on here, it would arguably possibly be in the S tier. But stay what you are is just it's such a downgrade. Everything feels so mid-tempo and bland, and it feels like we're just entering this kind of mellow indie era that Saves the Day is going to transition into. And At Your Funeral is a fine song, but honestly, this is the one I'd probably listen to the least because at least American High Five has Flavor of the Week. I feel like Saves the Day. I
Yeah.
feel like At Your Funeral is nowhere as good as Flavor of the Week for me personally. So, I put it in the D tier. So pretty easily. So I'm always surprised that people love this record so much. I don't get it. So we have Rufio and Saves the Day super far down. There's definitely some fans that are going to be upset by that. But let us know down below what your tier list would look like so we can see it. We can criticize you. We can be like, what are you doing? You're high. You're stupid. All right. But thank you guys for doing this with me. We'll be back with more tier lists. We'll be working on a couple different things. John, anything you want to update anybody on?
Oh shit. Yeah. So I still got a couple copies of Rabies. There's another shipment coming in. It's the pop punk album of the year, no bullshit. And then we've got a new pre-order with something different. You can get it from Punkerton Records. It's an exclusive Punk Rock Radar version. I'll have it in the shop eventually. But it's a highlighter yellow with purple and black splatter. It looks sweet.
Of
They're
what
a
album?
of their Skeech album. Did I not say it? It's Skeech,
No.
Sunny Side of Shitty Town. It's a German skate punk band. It's badass. And then I've got the Fast Loud album on 3 different color splatter vinyls. Another skate punk band from Spain. So go check out the shop. And there's new Ninja Turtle merch on the way very soon. So keep your eyes peeled for
Sick.
that as well.
Yeah. And the link is down below, punkrockraider.limitedrun.com. Don't forget to leave a comment. Don't forget to leave a like.